Hello, welcome back to Life with Opsy and thanks for tuning in. If you are new here, you are most warmly welcome. On this channel, I film about faith, marriage, lifestyle, and food recipe on my sister channel, Cook with Opsy. So if you're interested in any of these, please hit on the subscribe button and on the notification bell for seasoned, inspirational, and informative content. Going by the title of this video, I'm sure you heard gist like a man was so much in love with his wife that he showered her with gifts, attention, compliments, and love. And perhaps some had gossiped she must have given her or him a little something, that was making him so drunkenly in love with her. The conclusion is that he was indeed a good man and he never fails to put actions behind his feelings for his spouse any day, anytime. Then one day, that good man, that super loving husband, fell for the wiles of a strange woman. Everyone was in shock. Questions popping here and there from friends and family. How could he? He had it all. Some wise and women would even conclude that this strange girl isn't as half as beautiful as his wife. What do men really want? And the list goes on. Without further ado, let's get started with today's gist. What makes good men cheat? Note the key words here, good and cheat. Good because they seem to be that perfect spouse in their marriage relationship. They treat their spouse well, they are not lacking in their conjugal duties, they take care of the home, they are just always there. Nevertheless, I strongly believe that one of the biggest relationship deal breakers is cheating, whether it was a one-time fling or a long-term love affair. Significant others usually find it very difficult to forgive and nearly impossible to forget that act of infidelity. Like you and I know, marriage ought to be a faithful one. I mean staying faithful to the vows you both made. So it's no surprise that the first thing a betrayed partner wants to know is the reason behind the act. Why? So let me start by emphasizing that good men don't set out to cheat on their spouses. And this is not me trying to make excuses for them, no. As a matter of fact, they actually believe they can never fall for such and they try their best not to. I know a lot of people would have concluded that there are really no good men or men who don't cheat. You might have heard women trying to console, those whose husband cheats on, say stuff like, all men are the same and none is a saint. They believe strongly that some men play the game so smartly that they just never get caught. This video is really directed to women who are married to men who truly love them and will not cheat on them. Not because they were or won't be tempted, but because their deep love and value system hinders them from doing so. Also, this video is for women who at some point in time saw some good in their man and had this belief that he would always be faithful and so decided to spend the rest of their lives with him. Lastly, this video is for those women who are married to unfaithful men who never stops hurting their feelings with their promiscuous lifestyle. Perhaps looking back, it wasn't this bad. However, if he was already a bad guy when you met him, you knew that quite alright and yet married him, then my sister, we may need to employ the ministry of Angel Gabriel and Uriel for your desired change in that man's life. No jokes at all. To be frank, I feel what makes a good man in marriage could be characterized by the type of foundation and upbringing they had and the kind of company they kept while growing up. However, what can bring about their downfall in terms of cheating on their spouse totally differs from another. For instance, we have a category of good men that used to be bad guys, like that once upon a time typical players who somewhere along the line surrendered their lives to Christ and turned a new leaf. This category of men, of course, have been in the know of how things operate in the other side of Jordan and seems to be done with that kind of lifestyle. For them, their major source of temptation beyond capacity is to suffer several communion denial from their spouse. Their mentality will be like, so this is where I have ended up, begging for what I used to be overwhelmed with. Obviously, they could become so frustrated and just fall because of this. And of course, they would feel remorseful afterwards, but by then, apparently, the deed has been done. My dear co-wife, without any gainsaying, lovemaking is the oil of marriage. The reason it should never be seen as a burden, and this is very important. If you have a problem with that part of your marriage, I strongly suggest you go for therapy, because seriously, man cannot live by bread alone. Too many, no, I'm tired, not now, I promise you in the night, or tomorrow, may not sit well with this kind of men. Another major source of temptation beyond their capacity is when they start having the feel of not being significant in their spouse's life. So oftentimes, women tend to shift their affection from their spouse to their children when they start having one. For most men, especially this category of men, this is when they start feeling they've lost their swag. Clearly, their wife is spending more time with the children and seems to be diverting the sweet bond they have once shared before the arrival of these children. In fact, you will find some women calling their male child their husbands, whether for real or for joke. In case you don't know, men are like babies and are more jealous than women. Possibly these men don't even get their goodbyes and welcome with a kiss anymore. No compliments such as "you're looking good today," "I love your haircut," "I'll miss you," when going on a trip. Usual midday calls and chats, let alone having the usual weekend manicure and pedicure done by their spouse. Night time that used to be fun has suddenly become baby mother bonding time, because we are wired differently. While some men may understand and overlook for the time being, this category of men take these things to heart as they begin to battle feeling of neglect and irrelevance in their marriage and are gradually losing it. So then, in a bid to satisfy their curiosity to know if they truly lost their charm, they end up cheating on the spouse. Of course, there is no single justification for adultery. However, for this men, time, affection, compliment is what keep the fire burning. So if you're a wife to such man, wake up and begin to repair those injured parts of your marriage by creating this desired valuable time for that good man in your life in the midst of responsibility, and dutifully reminding him that he is still the sugar in your tea and as amazing as he was when you fell in love with him. Even you as a woman, when you hear these words from your spouse, don't you feel very special? There you go. They want to hear it too. Now to the second category of good men. These ones have always been good guys. They had a type that dated just one lady as a single person for years, and most times ended up marrying that same lady. They seem to be conscious of the kind of people they allow into their life, especially people who they think have the same values as they do, or people who share the same religious beliefs with them. They probably know who to keep their distance from and stay on their lane, but sometimes naive to the wiles of the woman. They see the best in people, hence trusting those around them so much. Nonetheless, the first major source of temptation for them is when they suffer what I term sustained emotional vacuum, such as the need to spend quality time together, just them and their wife. They desire to be mesmerized with gifts, no matter how little, and compliments, or even refreshing discussion time together. These are caliber of men married to career and business women. So some of these women, unfortunately, are physically present but have deserted their spouse's emotional need. Companionship. It's a business trip after the other. It's a form of training in different parts of the country consecutively that affords them to be away from home for days, weeks, and even months, as the case may be. Aside the exchange of greetings in the morning, on their return from work, and once in a blue moon when they have to perform marital duties, they owe him no precious bonding moments, let alone showing concern and helping him deliver purpose whenever and wherever such assistance is needed. This may seem really hard on this kind of men because they naturally build their world around their home. And now that Madame has become inaccessible in this regard, an emotional vacuum is created. Now, this kind of men are pushed to the wall when this emotional vacuum gets sustained by a readily available opposite gender. It could be a colleague at work, it could be a friend, or sometimes wife's bestie, who has been around over the years and comes to check on the family occasionally, gradually leading to an emotional affair, and if caution is not taken, may end up in an advanced physical affair. If you're sensitive enough as a wife to this category of men, you will recognize the adverse change in your man almost immediately and deal accordingly. But deep down, I'm sure you know you're responsible for it, if they are on the premise of what is discussed in this video. However, it is important you amend your ways and do the needful on your part. One of the reasons for this video is to let you know that all men are not the same and cannot be treated the same. Your man's emotional need is obviously different from my man's emotional need, and this is where I feel most wives miss it. Making comparison. Mrs. Tamedo's husband never complained if his wife has to go back-to-back trip. After all, it's all for the financial stability of the home. Sister Tokwe's husband supports his wife's career and he even follows her to the airport whenever she's traveling out of the country from work. Why are you not that kind of man? Blah, 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 blah. It is your duty as a wife to know the dynamics of your man and deal accordingly. And of course, there are several other reasons why good men may cheat, such as immaturity, addiction, intense infatuation, selfishness, covetousness, and the list goes on. This is why it is important, beyond all that is said in this video, to pray for your husband as the case may be. Also to be discerning where necessary, and guard his heart. Be guarded always against all forms of temptation. Don't assume no matter how much effort you put into your marriage, a man that will cheat. No. Are you really sure you will be fine if you eventually find out he cheats on you? This is because I am a woman and I have come to realize that we thrive on love and happy homes. On the contrary, we wither from feelings of bitterness, betrayal, and pain. So isn't it wisdom to do all it takes to fight for your happiness and, most importantly, what is yours? Isn't it high time you protect your jewel away from wolves who are ever ready to steal away your peace, happiness, and man? Isn't it time to really be the helpmate, strengthening your man to live life daily above all forms of temptations? To the best of my knowledge, there are still good men who typically seek to give their best to their marriage and be in right standing with God. But believe me, they are human. So be a helper suitable spiritually, financially, materially, but most importantly, sexually and emotionally, thereby experiencing true marital bliss. I've been privileged to commune with women whose marriages are well over 20 years, 25 years, 30 years, and their husbands never cheated on them, not for once. Or are you thinking these men must have dropped from heaven? Of course not. However, from our discussions at different intervals, I realized these are women who share the same philosophy about marriage. These are simply women who from the very beginning made the decision never to fail in marriage. God themselves equipped with relevant knowledge, fought for it, yes you heard me, and eventually got it. Trust me, it wasn't all smooth and straight marital journey for them, but with God's backing, they achieved their goal in the long run. So for you watching me now, whether as a newlywed or old mama jumbo, what will you do differently from today to help your good man keep from straying and cheating, whether emotionally or physically? You have the answers in this video. Maybe not all, just do as occasion serves, in the will of God. And I wish you a happy married life. Thanks for watching to the end. Please share the link of this video through diverse platforms to bless others. I value and look forward to your comments and feedbacks. So please do well to drop your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't and hit on the notification bell to get notified of any new upload. You can also check up on my channel for more relevant videos. And until next time I come around, bye.